Hello, my name is Alexander Kirill. Welcome to the program. In the end of August, jazz amateurs from around the world gathers to one of the biggest open-air events in Ukraine, the Koktebel Jazz Festival. Originally held in Crimea, the festival got caught in the middle of a political chaos following Russia's annexation of the peninsula in 2014. Now held near Odessa, the festival still attracts a growing number of fans of swing under the sun. Joining me in the studio is Kirill Mlinarich, Executive Director of the festival. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So first, I've been personally struck by the number of jazz events and the number of jazz fans in Ukraine, and this number keeps growing. How do you explain this attraction?
Well, it's probably because of us. we made the name jazz great again, as we would say. But to be serious, it's like really, it's not like a historical phenomenon. It's more like a phenomenon of last, like maybe 6-7 years, where like a lot of different events spawned, like after us, where we like already have like 15 years of history, and then step by step, probably like different people, different promoters have seen some potential, including commercial potential in this culture.
So Koktebel is a bit of a pioneer in this in this matter.
One can say that, but our festival was never a commercially purposed like thing, you know. It's always was like more because of a love to the music, to the development of cultural activities in Ukraine, and then also the green movement was also very important for the festival. But back then, in the first years, it was like a fundraiser to raise funds to help rebuild the museum of Maximilian Voloshin and Koktebel, and then like to preserve the ecology and stuff.
So
like it's more like a
yeah.
social entrepreneur initiative than.
So there's an implication between civil society and the festival. You said like green friendly. You have like eco-volunteer coming.
It was like a very close. In the audience and in the minds of the team producing it, it was always like the motivation was never money, but always some kind of social goals.
Now, just coming back to the music itself, the Koktebel Festival is characterized by a wide range of music. Some people might say it's not jazz, but jazz is obviously a wide range of
course. We have like a very it was well we have a joke because like when the first years of festival it was like such a social, more like a fundraising event, and then it only became jazz by incident, because like only musicians who agreed to play for free were jazz musicians, and then it grew to something different. Then it like had like a huge audience, like 10,000 of people coming to Crimea every year, and they were like requesting all kinds of different music, all kinds of other artistic content in the festival. So that's why like we had developed like an artistic, like a small art festival, which we just held like in the same location, which is called Artishock. So it's really a multi-genre, multicultural event. This is because this is what the audience wants. This is why we keep doing it.
So that's the key word here, the audience, and as you said, the people. In Western Europe, I think you went to other jazz festivals in Montreux or in Nice, and it seems like this jazz is a bit more uptight. And I say, like, it's a bit more like an elite of a, kind of high class, high profile.
If you take the history of Montreal, for instance, jazz festival, it was the hippie thing from the early years. Like in the band which played there the most was, I believe, was Deep Purple. In fact.
Yes, but today it's considered like jazz is widely considered as sort of a niche in Western Europe once and again. But do you think that Eastern Europe jazz in Eastern Europe trends can revitalize that kind of idea, can change the idea that Westerners can have on jazz?
Well, I think the European jazz, and we always were eager to promote and present European jazz to Ukrainian audience, is very it's different, because what we presented, it's maybe not like the mass and stars status like musicians in our stages, but they're like very lively. There's like very lively scene of like contemporary jazz music. It's not like jazz of 20s or 50s. This is like a really crossover thing. Like there's a lot of ethnic influence, like world music influence into it, electronic influence. It's experimentation. It's jazz is more like a way of seeing music. It's a way of opening your mind to like something really unexpected, which can happen through the improvisation or through the tune itself.
We were talking about the lineup, and that's going to be a bit of a touchy subject here, but as now, after the problems in annexation of Crimea, the Koktebel Jazz Festival split up. What happens with the artists in the lineup? How do you, given the law in Ukraine that an artist who performed in Crimea can't come to Ukraine to perform, how do you, given that, how do you deal with that kind of problems?
We didn't have problems with our musicians, because we don't usually invite this kind of people who perform in Crimea, because most of them are like, you know, the same people who feeds on Russian governmental money, like, you know, who's in the television. So it's easy to tell who's not to be invited, who performs in Crimea, because in Crimea right now it's like a very artificial thing of cultural life, you know, if you can say so. Because like this is just like a purely imitation of events, and because like this, it cannot just can't host the events of international scale. It's gonna be like a fake thing.
So would you say, aren't you afraid? Because as I said before, the Koktebel Jazz Festival was so like caught in the middle of this, and aren't you scared that sometimes politics can undermine the spirit, this kind of a free spirit of the jazz festival?
We try to. Well, people go to the open air like hundreds of kilometers from their homes to feel something different from what they experience usually in the news, in the everyday reality. So in the festival itself, there's rarely talks of politics, because it's a focus on music anyway. But of course, like through the course of organization and promoting it, there's like always questions of how do you see this and that. But we just like loyal to our audience. The festival for us is first of all audience, their spirit, their tastes, their culture, their manners, everything. This is like what creates the atmosphere. This is like what the most important characteristic of the festival is: atmosphere, and it's created wholly by audience. And then you just give them the artists they like, and it's happiness.
And that's going to be my last question. So the festival is held in the end of August. If you could pick one exciting thing about the festival to come.
Well, it's the only jazz festival which is held right at the seashore, I believe. From what I've been there, it's like a very good music, and like a music of sea, and just this is like the idea and what keeps us going and keeps people coming.
Thank you for being in the studio with us. It was a pleasure to have you talking about jazz and Ukraine. Joining me in the studio was Kirill Mlinarich, Executive Director of the Koktebel Jazz Festival. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the rest.